Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Cardano. But once again, thank you for your continued support, for everything you do across the CoinsKid. Thank you for the comments, the likes, sharing, the caring, everything you do. Hope you have a really good weekend, okay? And I hope you had a good Friday as well. So cheers, thanks for your support. And yeah, diving into Cardano, it's holding up really well. I'm not going to lie to you, it's doing really well. It's holding up. It's in the ascending triangle that we've got going on here, and as you can see, if we continue to conform to this 4-hourly EMA, which we're doing, we're holding it as support, the 4-hourly 20, even if we do start to correct a little bit more and fall down to the 55, as long as we adhere to those EMAs, you can see what it does to the price action. Look how healthy that is looking, okay? And it honestly, if it just creeps, what's it going to do? It's going to force you up, okay? It's going to force you to retest this high, break out and get to $2 for continuation. So just a big thumbs up, really. It's looking really good. You've got a little bit of a head and shoulders pattern on the go here, so if you do lose a little bit of a level of support, you could potentially see a little bit of a breakdown, and I'm always going to make you aware of all the little patterns that I spot, okay? So just there, because what it is, you've effectively got this kind of support line on the go right there. Do you see this? So this is the 4-hourly time frame. If you do start to see Cardano come down a little bit less than this and lose these EMAs, you would look at a little bit of a correction there for Cardano off this off this head and shoulders pattern. You could see it start to break down a little bit. So it, like I said to you, as long as it holds support and keeps creeping up, look what happens. It creeps up, adheres to the EMAs, back tests the support. Because what's happened here, you've come up, you've made a high, you created a level of support, then you've gone up, you've made another high, and this is starting to look a bit rude, but you made another high, which is a lower high, so you're running out of buying pressure, so you're effectively rolling over. And if you start to lose this level of support in the middle, it becomes a head and shoulders pattern, and you have a breakdown target out of that, okay, which is obviously there. And if you do start to see Cardano roll, this is why it needs to hold. This is why it needs to hold these particular trend lines and the EMAs as support. If you do start to see it close below the sort of 20 now, then it could get quite ugly. You could see a bit of a correction for Cardano down there to $1.19, and that could effectively be from here around 10%. So it needs to hold this support, creep up and march on, and invalidate this particular rude pattern right here by breaking this high. So you need to see Cardano break that high to invalidate that sort of head and shoulders pattern that it's got going on, okay? Because that's what it is it's going up, it's running out of steam, and you're making lower highs, so to speak. Even there, it's even a double M top pattern. Do you know what I mean? So you need to continue holding support of the EMAs, because otherwise you get the reversal. But it's all good. I want to reassure you, you are holding support. You're above the EMAs there. You've got this little buying pressure underneath. You see a little wick on the candle there, okay? So that's buying pressure. You've got support. It's all good. It's all good. I don't want to alarm you, but you always have to have these patterns in your mind so you can trade them and execute certain trades. But if you do continue to adhere to this yellow line right now, what's it going to do? It's going to creep you up. It's going to make you attack this particular level there and that high, and potentially pop out towards that $2. So it's really good for continuation at the minute. But this is why you need to adhere to levels of support in order to carry out those patterns. So right now you can see that it is doing particularly well. I don't know if I've shown you patterns before. I'm sure I have, but there was a double bottom there. You've got your double top there, which reversal pattern. That reversal pattern that's played out. So right now you are effectively, if you look at it, I'm not going to lie, you run out of steam on the buying pressure because you're making lower highs from this high here. So you're effectively rolling over. That's why you need to see some support come in. Hold support of the 20, back test, creep up, and break out up to that sort of previous high, and then up to that $2. So it's really crucial times. You know, who says crypto is not entertaining? Who says that? Okay, and we are going into the weekend, and bloody Sunday is always annoying because Sundays do dump. Okay, so do anticipate that you could potentially dump. Not financial advice, but if you're looking at Cardano and it's starting to lose the EMAs on a 4-hourly, then you could be looking at a sort of 10% correction there for Cardano, where I would imagine, you know, all it is doing, it come back testing this previous support, which is resistance there, which is turning into support. So you could see effectively it sort of cascade a little bit again. If it does, only if it does, if it does start to lose support and rolls over just here, you could see it actually come down to this particular level of support here, which is support there and resistance there, because that's what it does. Multiple look over to the left, support, resistance, support. So this is a really key level of support, because that's what it does. You just move to the left and you'll see it. So if and it is a big if you do start to see Cardano sort of roll over a little bit here, then I would actually think, you know, you could potentially see it sell off a little bit more down to that $1.17 mark. And if it did from here, you know, open a little short trade if it, and you trade on confirmation as well. I'll show you that in a minute. So that's, you know, 11% correction right there for Cardano. So if it does, and it's all a big if as well, okay, if you do start to see it lose that level of support right there, so if you do start to see it lose that support line right there, okay, then do anticipate go short. And what you do, zoom in on the hourly time frame, because you get a better confirmation of the support being lost. I do need to teach you that as well, because you'll see, you potentially see this can happen. It's called a throwback, basically, where it starts to come down and you think, oh yeah, it's gone short, and then you'll open your trade and it comes back up and invalidates the break. So zoom in as much as you can. So basically the hourly time frame, you can see it here. If you start to close below this particular level of support right here, move that like that so you get the most touches you can. So you can see like that, where you get in the close. Do you see this? The body of the candle where it's closing and opening, not the wicks, ignore the wicks, because they're wicked down, they're like scan wicks, okay? So on the bodies, get the body touches you can. If you start to see this particular breakdown, because you can see it's losing the hourly, okay? It's losing the hourly. It needs to bounce off this trend line, because if it loses it and you start to see this candle close below it consecutively, that's your confirmation, okay, of a potential breakdown for Cardano there, losing support and carrying out that head and shoulders pattern it's got going on here on the 4 hourly time frame, okay, just like that, just like that, just like that. I mean, look here, there's always patterns, and I'll always show you the patterns that I see, because it helps you when you're trading. So you've got a reversal pattern just there, you know, where you've gone up and you've made a high, you've actually made a higher high, but when you lost support, what happened? You reversed, and you've got a breakout target of that from there to there. You lost the support of the trend line, and look what happened, you went short. Okay, so that was a lovely little trade. So yeah, just zoom in on the hourly and you'll see bits and bobs. So do keep an eye on that pattern for Cardano. Hopefully you can get that support of the support line and keep adhering to it, and it pops you up to take out that high, because if not, you're going to see the correction for Cardano down there to sort of $1.17, because I would have, man, that's the actual target, 119, but I think it will continue down to that previous support that we've just outlined and targeted there for Cardano. So that's basically up. Just a quick little update on Cardano for you today, nothing too detailed, just a couple of trades in there. So if you do see the breakdown, you know, go short, but potentially you could be looking at continuation here and getting that support. You do need to see it take out that high, okay, and this would be a good trade in itself. If you do start to see Cardano close above 141, then do anticipate that you are actually marching on to that all-time high over there at $1.55, and then potentially marching on to that $2 per Cardano token up there. Okay, so that's basically Cardano in a nutshell. Stay strong, stay safe, and most importantly, stay tuned, and I'll try and give you little trades every day, and I'll try not to draw rude pictures on the charts. Okay, have a good weekend. Bye bye.